I cannot believe what I just witnessed is on Canada Day against an AL East rival. The Toronto Blue Jays do the unthinkable. Not only do they have a fantastic game, but some players stepped up, and there was one moment that was the most electric moment we have seen in a very long time, perhaps even years. We'll break down the exact game, discuss what it means going forward. As folks, the Jays are now just one game back of the AL East lead and one game back of the Yankees, rather tied for the Yankees, folks. A ton to go over today, but before you do it all, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is a place to be for daily Jays content. You guys are absolute beasts. Unbelievable. And obviously, happy Canada Day as well to everyone who's out there. This was the perfect Canada Day game, and it started off a little rocky. The Jays go down early once again. They come back and set themselves up perfectly in a game that also didn't have Bichette for a second game in a row. They managed to step up. And if you watch this game or if you were turning it on and off and whatever it was, this was the most electric game we have seen from the Toronto Blue Jays since 2023 for sure, but you could argue in years, maybe even 2021. The feeling that I felt when George Springer hit that grand slam, I hadn't felt since 2021, similar again the game against Oakland where Lourdes Gurriel Jr. hit that grand slam and Marcus Semien got the home run. Like it felt like 2021. And this team is, I mean, you can see George Springer here, 7 RBIs, just absolutely unbelievable. But we're going to dive through and let's go through the game in case you all miss it. Ernie Clement went 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs with arguably the biggest hit of the game to put them up. And then ultimately, the score was 5-4. And then George Springer hit a huge grand slam. Ernie Clement, there was an inning there where it was 4-2, of course, in case you missed it. Back-to-back horrible errors. Like one, Ernie Clement right at him. Braden Fisher was in the game. Inning-ending double play, you would assume. Ernie Clement botches it. Routine play. Then the next play, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. botches it. Routine play again. They tie the game. Vibes are at a bit of an all-time low here on Canada Day, and it's 4-4 going into that illustrious 7th inning. And then Andres Gimenez early in the game, we'll dive into him later. George Springer hit a grand slam that completely just tore the roof that wasn't even open. The roof was down off of the building. You see Keegan Matheson, who had the luxury of being at the game, say, "This is the loudest I've heard the Rogers Center in a very long time." And you could hear it through the TV. It was a sold-out crowd, back-to-back nights of sold-out crowds. And now that the Jays are actually winning baseball games again, the feeling in the stadium, the feeling around Toronto is very different. Obviously, hockey's not on the go. This is the main sport right now for summer. And you can feel it. And shout out to George Springer with 2 home runs, 7 RBIs, the biggest home run of the year. And in a time where you're missing Dalton Varsho, you're missing Jimmy Garcia, you're missing Anthony Santander, you're missing Bo Bichette, Vladdy goes 0 for 5, Kirk goes hitless again, 0 for 9 combined for them. Hopefully they pick it back up here soon. The Jays manage to squeak out, not even squeak out, win in convincing fashion. They put up 12 runs on Canada Day for a lineup that for a while there couldn't even buy a run. And the team, it feels like a team of destiny. I mean, every time they go down runs, they come back. We saw the most unexpected home run I've ever seen. Andres Gimenez with a 3-run home run rather off of Max Fried to put the Jays up 4-2. It was 2-1. And Max Fried, one of the best pitchers in baseball, of course, is the Yankees ace. The Jays take care of business back-to-back games against 2 of the best lefties in the game, Carlos Rodon and Max Fried, with a lineup that doesn't have great, numbers against lefties, or at least doesn't have a great, at the moment, roster against lefties. And it almost feels like we're living in a dream right now. And obviously, you're looking at it from the perspective of the standings. Like, obviously, these games matter a lot more than games against non-AL East opponents. But you are now guaranteed yourself a split in the series, which coming in, I said, was the minimum. Of course, you want to win the series, but a split is guaranteed. You now head into tomorrow with a fantastic position, and you got to win one of the next 2. Obviously, go for the sweep, but the Yankees, they're not playing good baseball as of late. Their defense is bad. They're hitting. I mean, you have Aaron Judge, and John Schneider walked Aaron Judge, and I'm seeing a lot of people talking about it. I like the walk to Aaron Judge when Braden Fisher came in. The 2 ground balls, and it obviously didn't get done, but huge shout out to Andres Gimenez. And he hit 396 to center field. I believe this was the only ballpark that was a home run in because of the short wall in center. But regardless, he barreled it, he crushed it, and that completely, what we thought, tore the roof off of the building. And then George Springer one-upped him in the bottom of the 7th, and the bullpen got it done. Now, let's talk about the pitching a little bit here. It was a fantastic game from the pitchers. Kevin Gausman, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs. The big thing for him was he gave up those 2 runs and was pretty solid overall the rest of the way in the whole night. 5 innings, 2 runs against a fairly potent Yankees offense, a very potent Yankees offense at times with Aaron Judge. You take that, 9 times out of 10, or 10 times out of 10 even. Nick Sandlin comes in, 1-2-3 inning. Then it started to get a little bit weird. They started the inning with Justin Brule. You obviously, he gave up a single to start, and they walked Aaron Judge. I don't know about the decision to start Justin Brule over Braden Fisher, who was dominant yesterday, has been dominant the entire year, and was dominant today. He went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 1 strikeout. He basically got 6 outs. He got a ground ball to Clement that should have been a double play. I guess a line drive to Vladdy that he missed that should have been arguably double play or probably should have got 1 out. And then, of course, he goes out and actually gets the 2 other outs. And that was one of the biggest turning points of the game because he kept it a 4-4 game, which then gave George Springer the chance to come up. And the Jays ultimately, obviously, shout out to Ernie Clement and everybody else who battled in that inning. It was obviously, overshined and overshadowed, rather, by George Springer's big home run. But everyone else, contributed as well. You have Tyler Heineman, doing his thing with a walk. You have Miles Straw, unbelievable defense. And Straw has been, even though, of course, he was kind of the guy who the Jays got instead of Roki Sasaki and all this, all those different things. His defense is Varsho level, maybe a little bit below, but like the way that he has been playing, made a fantastic catch today. Every time the ball goes out there, he just catches it every time. With Jonathan Clase being sent down now and Leo Jimenez getting called up, this is going to be, Miles Straw is going to be on this team for the foreseeable future. And he's obviously a critical part of what they've been able to do here. And Braden Fisher shut him down. Chad Green slowly but surely is becoming better and better. It's a little bit scary still at times, gives up a ton of homers. And then, of course, Yaro Rodriguez ultimately, gave up a run, but it's fine. They had to use him in a 12 to whatever it was, 12 to 4, 12 to 5, ultimately victory. Things like that happen. I'm fine with that. And in a game where you're playing 16 games straight, you got to be careful here. To be able to get out of this game with Justin Brule, Braden Fisher, who's fantastic, Chad Green, Yaro Rodriguez used only, especially in a game where your starter goes 5 innings, very, very encouraging. And of course, now you got through the 2, gauntlets of the Yankees, pitching staff, Carlos Rodon, and then also Max Fried. I mean, the fact that they pulled off this win in convincing fashion, it feels like a team of destiny here. And I don't really know. And again, Ernie Clement has been batting leadoff now 2 games in a row because Bichette rolled his ankle. Reports came out from before the game. John Schneider says that Ernie Clement is good. Bichette is good. He should be fine. I would assume he's going to be good to go tomorrow. And then George Springer, who was dealing with an injury in yesterday's game, left early. I said it's probably nothing serious. Probably got the wind knocked out of him. He was single-handedly won them. Probably gave himself a whole win above replacement from this game. 7 RBIs, 2 home runs, and he got the home run. Don't underrate the home run that he got going in the to make it 2-1 as well. Very crucial. The offense was dead. He gets a home run off Max Fried. Then Andres Jimenez gets a home run off Max Fried. And then, of course, later in the game, after the Jays take the lead, George Springer blows the game open, which was crucial with presumably Hoffman maybe down. He's been pitching a lot lately. The bullpen in shambles a little bit, just given the fact that Garcia still hasn't been activated. It is a very exciting time to be a Toronto Blue Jays fan. And the most exciting part of all of this is the Toronto Blue Jays, yet again, take care of business, move 1 game back of the Yankees, and on Canada Day, do exactly what we hope they do. And this team is almost 10 games above 500 for the first time in what feels like years. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll wrap it up. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. Cheers.